நம்முடைய தமிழ் மொழி உலகிலேயே மிகவும் தொன்மையான மொழி. எந்த தேசத்திடம் இருக்கின்றதோ அந்த தேசத்திடம் பெருமிதம் பொங்க வேண்டுமா கூடாதா சொல்லுங்க.
செம்மொழி வலையொலி யூடியூப் சேனல். இந்த சேனலின் மூலமாக, அந்த வலையொலியின் மூலமாக பல்வேறு தகவல்களை தினந்தோறும் நாங்கள் வழங்கி கொண்டிருக்கக்கூடிய அந்த நிலையில் சிலப்பதிகாரம் என்ற தலைப்பில் ஒவ்வொரு பகுதியாக வழங்கக்கூடிய அந்த தொகுப்பை முழுமையாக கண்டு பார்க்கலாம்.
The title of this paper is Behaviour Psychology in Select Sangam Poems. Great literature is known to deal not merely with the pleasant and conscious aspects of the human mind, but with the total human psyche, many facets of which are unpleasant and unconscious. Sangam poetry, as acknowledged by several Western scholars, is unsurpassed in world literature. If there is sociological realism in Sangam Puram poems, what is prioritized in Sangam Agam poems is psychological realism. As D.H. Lawrence has said, the great relationship for humanity will always be the relation between man and woman. The relation between man and man, woman and woman, parent and child will always be subsidiary. Sangam Agam poetry is primarily concerned with the supreme relation between man and woman. Some of the observations made by Wilson Harris provide us with certain fresh insights into Sangam poetry and what may be called Thinai poetics. He has proposed a unifying theory of life and universe, where all could realize the indestructible evanescence of life when all the adversities and oppositions are erased by love and concern. Describing collective unconscious as universal unconscious, Wilson Harris says, when I speak of the unconscious, I am not only speaking of the human unconscious, but of the unconscious that resides in objects, in trees, in rivers. I am suggesting that there is a psyche, a mysterious entity that links with the unconscious in nature. In the time scale of the womb of space, all human beings are thus united with the grand scheme of the universe. Harris therefore demands that art make us think about the unity underlying the humanity, which is known only to our unconscious self. This should be brought to the consciousness of man, the awareness of which will free humanity from all disparities and prejudices. Sangam Agam poetry lends itself readily to the psychological approach, which is an excellent tool for reading beneath the lines and which can afford several profound clues toward solving thematic and symbolic mysteries of a work of art. But psychological interpretations of time-tested masterpieces have to be carefully handled by qualified scholars. Novices in the field may arrive at incredibly far-fetched conclusions, and while seeing a worthy novel or a poem as a psychological case study, may miss its wider significance and, more tragically, even the aesthetic experience that it yields. This is what has happened in the case of several psychological studies of Sangam poems by critics who are ill acquainted with the psychological theories, not realizing that literary interpretation and psychoanalysis are two different fields. They view Sangam poems solely through the lens of Freud and underestimate their artistic value. But for this reason, psychoanalysis need not be rejected as neurotic nonsense, because it may in several cases function as a valuable tool in understanding literature as well as human nature. Behaviorism is the school of psychology which attempts to explain behavior entirely in terms of observable responses to environmental stimuli. This was introduced in 1913 by J.B. Watson, who was influenced by the conditional reflex experiments of Pavlov. Denying the value of introspection and the concept of consciousness, Watson emphasized laboratory techniques. B.F. Skinner, the modern proponent of behaviorism, is concerned exclusively with the relationship of observable responses to stimuli and rewards. Metaphysical behaviorism, methodological behaviorism, and analytical behaviorism are three separate doctrines. So, to behaviorists, objectively observable organismic behavior constitutes the only valid scientific basis for psychological data and investigation, and stressing the role of environment as a determinant of human and animal behavior. In his book Mind and Conduct, Behavior Psychology in the Sangam Poetry, a Tamil scholar, Rajagopal, attempts to comprehend the behavior patterns of the persona in the Sangam poems from the perspective of behavioral psychology. He justifies his interpretation of the poems from the viewpoint of behaviorism on the ground that the Uriporul of the Thinai framework essentially refers to the feelings, emotions, and conduct of the heroine and the hero in the personal and social domains. As Rajagopal rightly claims, though a few Tamil scholars have analyzed the Sangam corpus from the psychological perspective, very few studies have been made from the standpoint of behaviorism. After giving lucid explanations of all the theories relating to psychology and behavioral psychology, he finds suitable illustrative examples for behavioral psychology in Kaikilai, that is unrequited love, and Perundinai, that is mismatched love, as well as in all the five kinds, Kurinji, Mullai, Marudam, Neidal, and Palai, of poems of refined love. Then he passes on to poems that depict the assertive behavior of girlfriends and bards, the abnormal behavior of heroines at the loss of their spouses, and the demonic behavior of certain kings. Though there is God's plenty, the author has managed to choose the best from the Aham anthologies, and he has the right secondary sources also at his beck and call. Several Aham poems reveal that long before Freud, Jung, and their ilk came into being, all the subtle functionings of the human mind were fully comprehended by our Sangam poets, who could also express them in the best words, in the best order, employing apt metaphors. Apart from catching the heroine, her confidant, the hero and his friend at the appropriate moment in order to reveal their thoughts and emotions, the Sangam poets made an exemplary use of a character called the foster mother, through whom the feelings and attitudes of a mother may be realistically revealed. The poems in which the foster mother is reported to speak about her response to the heroine's romance of courtship or elopement happen to be remarkable psychological studies of the mother of the Sangam age. A poem by Velli Vidiyar portrays a foster mother who goes in search of the heroine who has eloped with her lover. She is in search of the missing couple and expresses her disappointment, weariness and frustration when the search proves to be in vain. Kale parithappinave கண்ணே நோக்கி நோக்கி வாழ் இழந்தனவே அகல் இரு விசும்பின் மீனினும் பலரே மன்ற இவ்வுலகத்து பிறரே. My feet miss their steps, my eyes tired of looking have lost their luster. People in this world other than the couple must certainly be more in numbers than the stars in the wide dark sky. That is her response. In a poem by Mosi Kiranar, a foster mother says how she came to know about the secret love of the heroine. பெயர்த்தனன் முயங்க யான் வியர்த்தனன் என்றனள் இனி அறிந்தேன் அது துணி ஆகுதலே கழந்தொடி ஆய் மழைதவள் பொதியில் வேங்கையும் காந்தளும் நாரி ஆம்பல் மலரினும் தான் தண்ணியளே. When I embraced her, the foster mother says, when I embraced her, she said that I smelled of sweat. Now I understand why she did not like my hugging. She who is cooler than the white water lilies growing in the cloud-covered Pudil with the sweet-smelling Vengai and Kandal flowers belong to eye of beauteous bracelets. The foster mother and the mother of a heroine rejoice over the happy life that she has been leading with her husband. The poet Kudalur Kirar knows when and how they will express their delight. An exquisite scene from the heroine's kitchen is described by the foster mother for the benefit of the real mother. முளிதயிர் பிசைந்த காந்தள் மெல் விரல் கழுவுறு கலிங்கம் கழாது உடி குவளை முன்கண் குய்ப்புகை கழும தான் துழந்து அட்டதீம் புளிப்பாகர் இனிது எனக் கணவன் உண்டலின் நுண்ணிதின் மகிழ்ந்தன்று ஒண்ணுதல் முகனே. The bright-browed lady mashes thick curds with her soft kandal-like fingers and wipes them on her clothes. Smoke touches her coal-lined kuvalai-resembling eyes. She was delighted when he enjoyed eating the tamarind curry of a pleasant flavor. The poem by Kulatrattanar presents a foster mother who consoles a worried mother whose daughter is separated from her husband who has gone on a king's mission. காணங்கோழி கவர்குரல் சேவல் ஒன்பொறி எருத்தில் தன் சிதர் உரைப்ப புதல் நீர் வாரும் பூணாறு புறவில் சீரூரே மடந்தை வேறு ஊர் வேந்துவிடு தொழிலொடு செலினும் சேர்ந்து வரல் அறியாது செம்மல் தேரே. Our innocent daughter lives in a small village in a fragrant flower-filled woodland where cold water drops dripping from bushes fall on the neck of a jungle fowl, attracting the attention of his mate with his calls. The chariot of the great-hearted man who had to travel on a royal assignment will not stay on there. In a poem by Kayamanar, we come across a foster mother who expresses her genuine love and concern for the young lady who has eloped with her lover. ஞாயிறு காணாதே மாநிழல் படிய மலைமுதல் சிறுநெறி மணல் மிகத்தாய் தன்மழை தலைய வாகுக நம் நீத்து சுடர்வாய் நெடுவேல் காளையொடு மடமா அறிவை போகிய சுரணே. May there be much of sunless shade and much of well-spread sand on the narrow mountain paths. May there be cool rains in the wasteland which our innocent girl, abandoning us, will be passing by together with the young man wearing a bright long spear.